Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first playthrough video of Rattenkrieg ever published on the internet. Rattenkrieg is the full issue game released together with Yeah Magazine issue number 14, released by Flying Pig Games. Got a link in the description where you can get this one currently on sale, $36. Okay, so Rattenkrieg, I gotta say, I think it's a fun game. Kind of reminds me of the other Rattenkrieg, but obviously this is gonna be way more complex. And when I say way more complex, this is still an easy game because the other Rattenkrieg is basically the easiest war game I ever played because it's a postcard game. Anyway, it's a great game and it features several scenarios, and on top of that you also have optional and advanced rules. So the base game features a total of 6 scenarios, which I've shown in my unboxing video. And like I said, on top of that we have our optional and advanced rules. So the way I'm gonna do this, I am gonna play each scenario, and I'm gonna start with scenario number 1, City Patrol. And when I've finished all the scenarios here on the basic rules, I am gonna play the game with the advanced rules, and I can tell you that the advanced rules, they do add some complexity, but they also make the game, in my opinion, much more enjoyable. But I want to start with the basic rules because that can be enough, for your first time watching. And yes, this video is just gonna have the City Patrol scenario featured. So for the other scenarios, you are gonna have to stay tuned to my channel. Okay, so the way this works, I'm gonna show you how to set up your scenario. The first thing you want to do is get your squad ready. And we can choose if we want to play a German Pioneer squad, or if we want to do a Russian Rifle Guard squad. And for this game we are going to play as the Russians. So with the Russians you're going to need a squad leader with the PPSH, an NCO also with the PPSH, a gunner with the light machine gun, and 5 riflemen with Mosin Nagants. So we grab our Soviet counters and we start looking for our sergeant and our corporal. So we have our NCO and squad leader there. Now we need our gunner. See if we can find our gunner here. There we go. We have our light machine gunner, and then we need 5 riflemen. So we just grab 5 of these. And these guys have 2 sides. They have one side for pinned, and this is the pinned one, and one regular side. So obviously they're gonna start on the regular side. So once you've done that, you're gonna start rolling some d6, because you need to see here. First we have the ammo table to see if they get equipped with some extra grenades and demo charges. So I'll bring in my little dice tower, which you recognize by now, and I roll a d6. Let's see if I can get my camera's focused a little better. And I roll a 5. So 5 is gonna give me each rifle or submachine gun unit receives 1 grenade. So I am gonna equip all my rifle units with grenades, and the grenades, you have 1 grenade side. Let's see if I can get it to focus. 1 grenade side or 2 grenades, and this time they were equipped with 1. On the other side you have demo charges, but I wasn't equipped with any demo charges. So these guys all get 1 grenade each, and I just put them under the counters to remember. And the grenades are very effective in close combat, not close combat, or short distance combat. If you're fighting many targets or many units in a group. So I got my grenade equipped riflemen, and then I need to roll on the support table, and I do so by rolling 2d6 to see if I get some extra support from high command, and I roll 9. So 9 to 10 support, 1 SMG. So that's gonna be 1 more submachine gunner. And we got this guy here, and all of the riflemen and the SMGs that come with support, they're always equipped with a grenade. So we have 1 SMG guy here with a grenade. So Then you are gonna deploy into the zone. You are gonna deploy with your soldiers in groups, in groups of 2. You can also do smaller groups, but it's not really advised. A group can consist of a maximum of 5 units, but if you have a light machine gun in your unit, it can be a maximum of 4. So I have a unit here with riflemen, and I'm gonna split those up because I want to have a fire support group, and that's gonna be 1 light machine gun and 3 riflemen. So that's 4 soldiers here now, 3 riflemen and 1 light machine gun. And then I have my submachine gunners. They're all together here, so I can use those for close assaults, and they are gonna have the support of 2 riflemen. In case you were wondering about these units, the SMGs with which are NCOs and squad leaders and so on, doesn't matter in basic game, but when you play with the advanced rules, it's gonna matter because this guy can do command abilities. Basically, he's gonna make it easier to rally if you're pinned, and if you go too far away from him. With soldiers under his command, they are gonna have some negative modifiers and so on. But in the basic game, it just doesn't matter if they have the chevron or not. And we put these remaining counters away because we're not gonna get to play with these. And we set our 2 units aside, or our 2 groups aside. And we'll go ahead and go back now to our scenario page. So we see here that objective of the scenario, which is called City Patrol. So this is going to be an easy objective, and it's going to be a calm one, not so chaotic, because it's kind of a, you know, good scenario designed for you to learn the basics of the game. So anyway, the objective is to reveal all event markers. This scenario ends at the end of the game turn where there are no remaining face down event markers. So event markers are these guys, and on the back there's a number. This one is not 1, and then we have, for every scenario, we have an event description, enemy presence table, hidden enemy table. And here we can see that a 1 would do nothing, but if we would have gotten a 12, we'd had enemy presence check, and that would, enemy presence check always ends up with enemies showing up. So E10 to E15, so that's 5 of those event markers are going to be enemies that I need to take out. Okay, so entry zone. I'm going to go ahead and place my units in the top left zoner of sector 1. So each individual map is a sector, and if you watched my unboxing video, you saw that there's 4 maps that you need to cut out, and each one of these represent a sector. Each one of these are an zone, including the roads. Okay, so we need to roll on the map layout. On a roll of 1 to 4, we're going to play with the maps like this. On a roll of 5 to 6, we're going to play with the maps like this. So let's roll a d6. And we roll a 4, so the maps are going to look like that. And you are free to choose your maps as you wish. Perhaps you like, for example, this one has the heavy cover big factory. Perhaps that's one that you find fun to play with. I just like to, I don't know why, but when I'm playing solo games, I just like to randomize things. So I'm just randomly gonna pick 2 maps. And we have these 2 maps. Okay, these 2 are cool. And I am gonna go ahead now and remove this. And also, before we start playing, event markers, that's important information. Initial setup. Select event markers E1 to E15, that's all of the event markers, and place 1 random marker on each zone of sector 2. Sector 2 is going to be the south map, containing a building. Place the remaining markers on the zones of sector 1 containing a building, 1 per zone, as far as possible away from the entry zone. And remember, the entry zone is going to be a top left zone of sector 1. So let's start with our entry zone here, guys. Our entry zone is going to be here, and I think I'm going to want to put my close assault group here out in the open, and my light machine gun fire support group in that house. And then we have our event markers, which have been shuffled. There are 15 totally. And like it said, we need to put them in zones with buildings in sector in sector 2, which is this sector. So we go ahead and do that. We have a zone here without buildings. That's a road, so we're not gonna put an event marker there, but they can eventually end up there, and you're gonna see how. So now we put event markers in all of these sectors, and then it tells us to start putting in sector 1 as far as possible away from the entry zone. It's still gonna be on buildings, so it's gonna look something like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's as far as possible away. So we're kind of ready to play. And the counters you're gonna need for basic game is you're gonna need the counters for your enemies. So these are German units. I'm gonna try to put this straight. German units that will show up from event markers. You are gonna need these hidden markers, although not very often used in the basic game. And you're also gonna need your rubble markers. Okay guys, so on top of that you are gonna need play markers, the activation marker of the player and the enemy, and you'll grab these and put them in a cup where you can't see, and then you're gonna be drawing them randomly to see which side gets to activate first. Let's see if I can get my dice tower at a better position here. Okay guys, so we're all ready to go, and remember our mission here. Man, I can't get this straight. I think it's my camera that's not straight. So remember, the mission here for us is to clear all of the event markers, which are these little question sign things. And this game doesn't you don't have any turn limit, so we can take things really slow, and that's advised in this scenario. If you try to rush this one, you're probably gonna end up dead, because I did last night. I started doing stupid stuff like staying in the road and staying out in the open, and I got killed. But the first time I played it very slow and kind of let these guys come to me, and I won without a problem. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and just play the game, and I am gonna try to explain things as I'm playing. If you have any questions at all, just give me a comment. I'll try to give you some help. If you know this game perhaps better than me, and perhaps you see some error I do, just let people know in the comment section. So people don't do the same mistake. But I think I'm good. I've read the rules extensively, also spoken a little bit to the designer, and checked out all of the forum posts, so I should be good. Okay, so we need 4 dice of one color and 1 dice of another color. That's going to be D6. And then we also, of course, we have our Rattenkrieg AI bot, which my camera doesn't want to focus on. So we have that one ready here also. And yeah, that's it guys, we're ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and randomly draw an marker, and we get an enemy event marker. And the way you're gonna learn this really fast, but in the beginning you will wanna look up your tables. So there are 3 tables you wanna keep an eye on. The first one is going to be the tables, obviously, in the scenario, and doesn't matter if you played it 1,000 times, you are going to need to look at this. So this is the page you want to have open. And then this one is going to be on the back of the rules, and this is something you might want to photocopy just to have available. There's also a file on Board Game Geek forums file section, so you can print this. So you don't have to go, with your rules books like this, and just keep that other page open. Anyway, we have our enemy activation marker table. So it tells us select the first option that applies to the current situation. Not activated enemy group on the map, use bot, but we don't have a non-activated group or an activated enemy group. A player group is adjacent to an event marker, reveal the event marker. We don't have an event marker adjacent to any of our player units or player groups. Roll on the hidden enemy table, that's the last option, and that's what we're gonna do now. So if you look at your again scenario, the scenario is gonna have an event description table, enemy presence table, and hidden enemy table. So the hidden enemy table is the one you're going to roll on quite a lot, especially in the first scenario, as there are no other options for the AI. So we roll a simple d6, and we roll a 3, and with a roll of 1 to 3 it does nothing. So in this scenario the AI is quite inactive, but I think it's kind of cool because that way you have a great way to learn without being rushed by the AI. Okay, so the next marker we draw is play marker, and let's see, we're gonna want to go ahead and move our close unit guys to this house. So first of all we have to move out on the road, and so I should perhaps tell you first that when it's your turn to activate a group, you have something called activation points. And you have a total of 6 activation points. And with these activation points you can do different things with your units. And I'm going to show you exactly now what you can do because it's not very extensive. You can do, let's see here, you can do movement, and that's variable, the cost. We're going to go through that now as we move. You can do quick fire, which has a -1 die roll modifier, or you can do a normal fire. You can enter close combat for 2 action points. You can spot. You're not going to be doing that in the basic game. That's for the advanced rules only and the optional rules. You can rally, which basically means that you're trying to unpin a pinned unit. You can use special weapon actions like reloading with a machine gun that's went out of ammo for 2 action points. You can exchange equipment, like for example a submachine gun unit can give a rifle unit a grenade for 1 action point, and you can hide for 4 action points, and hiding means that even if the enemy has line of sight on you, they can't fire on you. So let's talk about movement, guys. So movement is actually a little bit complicated in this game, but once you learn it, it's not going to be a problem. Okay, so movement cost. Remember I told you that we have these white squares, like for example on this map we have all of these squares, and all of these squares represent a zone. And moving from one zone to another zone, that's going to be 2 action points. But moving within a zone, so for example if this unit moves from the house to the open, that's 1 action point. And if you basically, that's all you need to know. It's not more complicated than that. If you however are in, there's a special rule for the big factory, and from this building you can move to other buildings because there's no walls basically, or there's doors, whatever, and that's just going to be that's going to be 2 action points as well. So remember, moving in one zone, in the same zone, that's going to be 1 action point. And if you move to another zone, 2 action points. And again, you have 6 action points with each activation of the group. And I hope you get what I'm trying to tell you guys. And like, if you don't, please, you just try to stick with me, because you are gonna learn as we go, I think. Okay, so we have moved out now into the road. So you'll notice that the road is a different zone than my starting zone, and immediately as you do movement to a different zone, you have to roll on a specific table. So there are 2 tables here. There is movement in line of sight of an enemy that is not pinned, or exposed movement. That's just when your movement when you're not in line of sight of a non-pinned enemy. So we are going to have to roll on the exposed movement here, and this actually is quite dangerous. It simulates basically, snipers hiding and stuff like that in Stalingrad, because obviously every step you're going to take in the heart of Stalingrad is going to be lethal. So we need to roll now on this chart, and we roll 2d6. And we roll 6, and you can see here that on a roll of 6 it does nothing. The problem is going to start if you roll 10 or higher, because then you're going to have to take some fire attacks, some rifle attacks to your squad. So we made it safely. We have spent now 2 action points out of 6 moving into this road. We're going to spend 2 more action points moving into this place. And we're actually gonna move, let's see, I wanna move into that building, right? And the way that works, because you can see this little area that is between the white line and the building, that's also called open space. I am allowed to move there, but I'm not allowed to stay there, because you can only stay in the open where there is place for your counter. However, I don't want to stay in that open, I want to move into that house. So I will spend 2 additional points moving in here, and I still have to roll on the exposed table. And I roll 8, and on a roll of 8, it's a little bit special on the exposed movement table. On a roll of 8, you have to roll on the hidden enemy table. And if you remember, the hidden enemy table is found on your scenario book. So for scenario 1, we have a specific hidden enemy table. We roll a d6, and on a roll of 1 to 3, nothing happens. So we're still good. Okay, so we have spent 4 action points. I'm spending an additional action point. Or actually, I don't want to move into that part of the house. Okay, I will just move into this part of the house, then 1 more action point. So now I spend 5 action points totally moving into that house all the way from over across the street. So the first thing that's going to happen now is, because I have an adjacent event marker, we are going to have to reveal that. So we reveal that, and that is number 14. I can tell you that is going to be an enemy. We see here on our event markers that number event 12 to 14 is going to be an enemy presence check +1, and we have the presence table over here, so the +1 is a modifier for that. So we need to roll 1d6, and we roll a 4, so that 4 is going to turn into a 5 with the +1, and we can see here that on a roll of 4 or 5 we get 3 enemy rifle soldiers or riflemen. So we go ahead and grab some riflemen here, some German riflemen. So we have 3 German rifle soldiers. When it comes to these values on the when it comes to these values on the counters, this is gonna be your range for short and long distance. In short distance, you hit on a roll of 10. On on short distance you hit on a roll of 8. On long distance you hit on a roll of 10, and you roll 2d6. That number is the rate of fire. That's the big number there, and that's gonna be dependent on how many dice you get to roll. And then you have some numbers there, and that's gonna be, for example, the K means if you roll, because you have an aim die. We're gonna get into combat soon, but if you get an aim die and you roll 6, that triggers, and that's gonna kill instead of pin. And the submachine gun also has one of those special value, which is an R, and that means reload. Anyway, we have revealed our first event marker, number 14, so 1 out of 15. And then these enemy soldiers get placed there, and I just play, doesn't say in the rules, but I play that they will always go into a building here, which is closest to you and best protected against you. And I think it does say actually in the rules that they should start in a building where they have line of sight to you. So that's how it is. But they're not going to get activated straight away. So we have activated our units here, and we draw another marker, and this time again it's going to be the player, and we are gonna want to get to that side with these guys as well. So we spend 1 action point moving out in the open, and then we spend 2 action points, so we were up to 3, moving out in the road. And again, we have to roll on that exposed movement with 2d6. And on a roll of 4 to 7, nothing happens. I roll 5, so nothing happens. I'm good. And then I move again into a new zone. I spend 2 more action points, so I'm up to 5 action points now. Again, I have the roll on exposed movement table, and this time I roll 9. And that's bad for me, because if we look at our exposed movement table with a roll of 9, the active group must spend 1 additional action point. So with my last action point, I wanted to move into the house, but I can't do that now, because now I spent 5 action points getting into the open of that zone, and the last one was spent by that exposed movement. So unfortunately, I'm stuck in the open with those guys from the fire team. I draw a new marker, and that's going to be an enemy marker. And if you don't remember, we have our enemy activation marker table. So the first one is not activated enemy group on the map, use bot. But we have one of those, so we're going to use the bot this time. We don't have to do the second or the third step. Okay, so this is our unactivated enemy unit, and you always, if you have several of them, you always go with the one that is closest to your player units. So it tells us to use the bot, and the bot, I can tell you, it looks a little bit perhaps intimidating, but once you have used it a few times, you're not even going to have to look at it, because you will automatically know in the back of your mind what the bot is going to do. So is the group engaged in, we have 2 sides. We have attack and we have defense. Defense will only be used in some specific scenarios when the enemy is defending, for example, the ammo depot. Then the enemy is going to be defending the ammo depot. So this is going to be, focus, this is going to be the standard side, the A side. So the group is engaged in close combat, no. Group contains pinned units, no. Hidden player group in line of sight, no. Player group in short range, yes. Is fire possible? Yes. And then it tells us to roll a d6. And on a roll of 6, we will do nothing. On a roll of 3 to 5, we're going to execute fire against the nearest target. On a roll of 1 to 2, we're going to execute fire against the largest target. So let's roll a d6. And we roll a 3, so they are going to execute fire against the nearest target. So it wouldn't matter 1 to 5, they would have attacked this guy, because that's the only guy they have line of sight for. You draw an imaginary line of sight, you draw an imaginary line from the unit firing to the unit being fired upon, and if that line crosses or touches any houses in a way, the line of sight is broken. So you can see that there's a building here between them. So they can't fire at these guys. They can only fire at that guys. Okay, so let's do some fire. Okay, so we're gonna look at this guy again. So this is the rate of fire. First of all, with every unit fire, you will always roll a separate die called aim die. So we'll start by that, and that's rolled for everyone, okay? And with that one, we roll a 2. So we have rolled 2 for aim, and now we are gonna roll his rate of fire die. This guy only has 1 die. Some other has light machine gun has 2, or sorry, it has 4 actually. So we're gonna go ahead and roll his rate of fire die, and then when we have done that, we are gonna add all of these die, rate of fire die, to the aim die. And again, if you remember, if you're in close combat, you need an 8 to hit. If you're in long distance combat, you need a 10 to hit. So he's in short distance now, because if you look at his number is for short combat is 3. And long distance he can reach all the way up to 6. And the way zones are, a lot of information for you guys here, but the way zones are calculated, how the distance is calculated, is by just counting the zones, including the zone you are firing on. So for example, this zone is 1 zone away. If I would have fired, for example, it's 1, 2, 3, this would still be in short distance for the rifle. While the SMG, you can see here, has a distance of 1 in short distance. But with the rifle, that's 3 zones away. Okay, so you can see here that he missed. So we are going to go to our next German rifleman and see if he does better. We are rolling an aim die. and he rolls a 1, so I can tell you he's not going to be able to hit, because even if he rolls a 6, that would be a 7, and again you need an 8 at least to hit. So we have our last enemy unit, and he rolls also a 1, so a bad day for the Germans. And that means we're out of markers. So what we do now is we put our markers and we put them back into our cup. And we go to the next turn. And this is how it's gonna look the rest of the game. And oh, I was hoping to get a play marker, because that means now the Germans are gonna get to attack again. And you know the deal. We have already went through the bot, so now you're gonna... The proper way to do it, I'm just going to show you so you learn, is we draw an enemy activation marker, and the first option is not activated enemy group on the map. Use bot. Okay, and again, the bot told us group is engaged in close combat. No. Group contains pinned units. No. Hidden player group in line of sight. No. Player group in short range. Yes. Fire possible. Yes, and then again we roll d6. On a roll of 6 they do nothing. Whoops. So we can hope for a roll of 6. Oh, look at that, guys. We got a roll of 6. So that means they do nothing, actually. And some people think that's strange. I read on the forums. I don't think so, because I mean there can be a lot of reasons why you don't fire. Perhaps you don't want to expose yourself. Perhaps there's some heavy armor in the background and you're scared to draw that armor's attention, or you have a weapon malfunction, whatever. But for some reason, these guys are activated now and they don't fire. Okay, so hopefully it's gonna be my turn next, and I can... Nope, it's gonna be the enemy. Okay, so the enemy, we go back again to our enemy activation marker. Not activated enemy. Nope, our enemy has been activated. A play group is adjacent to an event marker. Nope, they're not. Roll on hidden enemy table. So we go ahead and roll on the enemy table, which is found on the scenario with a roll of 5, and that's going to be an interesting one, because on a roll of 4 to 5, move the event marker nearest to the player units 1 zone towards the player units. The event marker selected must be initially located at least 2 zones or more of distance from the player units. Okay, so this is the way that the event markers actually will travel to you. And the closest event markers are these two guys. So I'm going to make a roll. 1 to 3 is going to be this one. 4 to 6 is going to be that one. And so it's going to be this one, and it moves into this place. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead with my fire team. Oops, I should actually, before I should draw from this. It's going to be a player one, obviously. But I'm going to go ahead and move my fire team for 1 action point up into the building. And see, that also makes it that I have to, because when you start your movement and you have an adjacent or end your move adjacent to an event marker, you have to reveal it. So I'm hoping this is not going to be another enemy unit. Let's see, it's 9. Okay, 9, and we go to our event markers table. On this scenario, event marker 8 and 9 place a rubble marker on the largest building in the event marker zone. So that's what we have our rubble counters for, and basically what they do is they just make the house has been bombed, it's broken, and to move into that zone now will cost 1 additional action point. Okay, so we have 5 more action points, and we are going to do some bad stuff to these enemy riflemen. I'm going to open up first of all with my light machine gun here, and you can see that his rate of fire is 4. You can also see that his range is 5 to 12. So if he's 5 zones within the enemy, that's short distance, and then he can fire up to 12 with long distance. His abilities are the reload ability and the kill ability. So if he rolls a 6 with the aim die, that means that he's going to be able to kill instead of pin, and he's also going to be able to reload one of his rate of fire die if that's not a hit. Also, to complicate things even further, you see the 1 there. That means that if he rolls a 1 with the aim die, he's out of ammo, and then he has to interrupt his fire, and the next turn he has to reload his weapon for a cost of 2 action points. So anyway, let's go ahead and first start by rolling the aim die, and the aim die is obviously the one that you will want a good high result with, because that's going to affect all of the other die. Can I get some focus here, please? And we roll a 4, so that's actually a very decent roll. And then again, he has a rate of fire of 4, so then we're going to use 4 rate of fire dice and roll all of them. And then we're going to add these results to our aim die. So these are going to be misses, obviously, because it's going to be 6 and 5. This is 6. Let's just turn them up like this to show you guys. So that's a result of 6, that's a miss. We have a result of 5, that's a miss. Remember, we need a 8 or higher to hit in close combat. This is an 8, so that's a hit. And then we have a 9, so that's also a hit. So we have 2 successful hits. So this is a little bit strange. I don't understand why, but when you deal out your hits, they have to be random. You can't deal them like you wish. So we have 3 enemy units which are being targeted. Also, that's something you need to know when targeting enemy units with a group. All of them has to fire at the same group. You can't fire at several groups with one group. Anyway, we have 3 riflemen in this squad, so let's roll 2d3s to deal out the damage. So I was quite lucky. I rolled 1 on both. This is a, remember, I roll a d3, so 1 to 2 is going to be the first unit. So the first unit here, he is first, with the first hit, he gets suppressed or pinned. Pinned is the correct term. And then with the second hit, he's destroyed. So I have managed to destroy my first German unit. And that's just my light machine gun. Then I have my rifleman, and my rifleman has a grenade. So I'm going to go ahead and use the grenade. And you discard the grenade as it's been used. And concerning the grenade, the red number there means that it has explosive damage. And I'm going to tell you how that works. And then it's just 1 grenade, so it's discarded. And rate of fire, you can see that the rate of fire, let's see if I can get it to focus. The rate of fire is going to be 1. So you roll only 1 aim die and 1 rate of fire die. So that's a bad roll. I'm probably not going to be able to hit. I roll a 4. I need an 8 to hit, so that's going to be a miss. So we take our next rifleman, and he's also going to go ahead and use his grenade. Might as well. So roll 1 aim die. That's better. Now we might be able to hit. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so that's a roll of 10. So we actually managed to hit with this grenade. And what that means now is when the grenade hits and when the demo charge hits, you get to roll 1d6, and that's going to be the amount of hits. So if I roll 6, that's going to be 6 hits. So the grenades are very powerful. I roll a 3, so that's going to be 3 hits. We have 2 riflemen, so I'm going to roll 3 of my dice. On a roll of 1 to 3, it's going to be hitting the first guy. On a roll of 4 to 6, it's going to be hitting the second guy in the stack. Okay, so the first guy receives 2 hits and he's taken out. And the second guy receives 1 hit and he's successfully pinned. Okay, so let's see. I open up now with 2 riflemen using grenades. And then I have 1 more rifleman, and he also has grenades. But he's going to save his grenades and just fire with his regular rifle. And he rolls a 5, so that's a good roll. And a 2 on that. So unfortunately that's a 7. That means this enemy is not taken out. So I return my guys here to the stack. If you don't want to be messing with all these counters, because it can be a little bit annoying, you can also have the option to use these 2 counters. If you watch my Airfix Battles videos, you're gonna understand how these work, because you just place these out, symbolizing your two groups, and then you have your groups down here divided, and because obviously you don't need to have them on the map, but I think it's more immersive that way, so that's why I play it like that. Okay, so let's see. I had a play marker here somewhere. There we go. So I put my play marker here, indicating that this group has been activated for this turn. And I draw a new marker. And again, it's going to be my turn. And I'm going to go ahead and, of course, try to take out this enemy unit. So with my submachine gun, you can see this guy has a rate of fire of 2. So always only one aim dice. A 5, that's good. And then I get to roll 2 because I have 2 rate of fire. So that's actually a super good roll. That's 2 hits. I only need 1 to take this rifleman out. So he has successfully been taken out. And that means I'm not going to do anything more with any of my other soldiers. And we have drawn all of the markers. So we put them back and we go to the next turn. And I'm hoping you're starting to see how the game flows. But you know me, I like to do long playthrough videos, so we are gonna finish this game. Let's see, now I need to be careful. I need to plan my way into this area to successfully be able to go in without being in the open too much. So the roads is a big no-no. Definitely not gonna go out on those. I think I might go down here and start clearing this part up because there's roads here and I really don't want to go through those. So I am gonna go ahead and move over with my, let's see, yeah, I'll take my close assault team and I move out here. And so first it's an action point moving out of the building to the open. Then it's 2 action points moving out in the open into the new zone. So we're up to 3 action points. And then it's 1 additional action point moving into the building. So that's 4 action points. However, I have done some exposed movement. So I have to roll on that one again. And you know that one can be quite nasty. But I'm lucky, a roll of 7. And remember, on a roll of 4 to 7, nothing happens on the exposed movement. However, I am now adjacent to an enemy event marker, so I'm gonna go ahead and show that. And we do get number 11, and we look again at our scenario tables, and 11 is gonna be an enemy again, so enemy present check -2. -2 is bad for me because the lower the number, usually the better the enemy. We roll a 1, so that's gonna be a 0 or less. So we look here at our table. 0 or less, light machine gun, rifle. Place the enemy units on a zone adjacent to the enemy event marker location with no event marker or enemy units, and at a distance of 2 or more from the active group. If this is not possible, place the enemy units in the event marker location. Okay, so it's not going to be possible because the only adjacent zone is this zone. Has an event marker, and they told us not to place one with the event marker. So we are gonna place these guys in this zone, and we have 1 light machine gun and 1 rifle. Let's see, how many points did I spend now? I spent 4 points. I spent 1 point moving out of the building in the open, 2 points moving into the open in the new zone. That's 3 points. Then 1 more point moving into the house. So I have spent 4 points. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 more points. I'm moving out of the building. And then I'm moving into the next building. You can see there's a wall here. So I can't move from this directly to this. I have to go from the outside. And that's the end of my movement. I wonder where I put the player marker. Did I perhaps forget to draw a player marker? Yeah, I didn't even draw a player marker. I don't know what I was thinking there, but anyway, that's a mistake for me because that's probably going to be, yeah, that's going to be bad now because now I have the enemy fire on me at close distance. We have a rifleman and a light machine gun. So let's go again to our bot. That's what you do when you have an unactivated unit. And let's see here. So you know the way it's gonna go. It's gonna weigh fire is possible. Yes, and we're gonna roll a d6 to see if they fire or not. I was hoping for a 6, but no. So we gotta roll a 1, execute fire against largest target, and this target is my only target, so he is gonna fire on them. Let's start with the rifleman. Rolling 1 aim die. That's a bad roll, lucky for me. Ooh, okay, so he rolled a 4, so that's not enough to hit. Let's go to the light machine gun. And he rolls a 6, so that's really bad for me because 6 with the aim die triggers his special abilities, which again, if you look at the counter, I know they're small. the R there stands for reload, so he gets to reload one of his rate of 5 dice if he miss, and the K stands for kill. So he's, instead of pinning, he's actually gonna kill on one hit. There is some noise in the background. My crazy German neighbors are doing something again in their yard. It's always something, man. Anyway, we're rolling for the light machine gun. I already rolled for him, so it should be 6. So I should roll these, not that. Okay. Ooh, man, this is bad. That's 3 hits. 3 hits, man. So, since the light machine gun rolled 6, he also gets to re-roll one of his misses. So, luckily he did not hit with that. Also, like I said, he has the kill ability. So the first hit is gonna kill. So let's see how many soldiers I have. I believe I have 5 in this squad. 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 soldiers in this squad. So we're just gonna roll a d6 to see who is gonna die. Number 5, the last soldier, unfortunately, is dead. So my rifleman, together with his grenade, is taken out of the game. Man, that is bad luck for me. Okay, we're not done yet. We have 2 hits to deal. So the first hit is he's dead. So I re-roll. Is to my first unit there. So he's pinned now. Then we have 1 more hit to deal. And it's on soldier number 3, which is also going to be a submachine gunner. So 2 of my submachine gunners, unfortunately, are pinned. So that's the end of the enemy turn. And we have a new player turn. And the question is how we want to do this, because this can become chaotic. I could move over to this area and start doing some fire support, and I think I have to. Okay, so I'm moving out of the house, 1 action point. Let's see, moving to the new zone. That's gonna 2 more action points. We're up to 3 now, and we have to roll on the exposed table. And we roll a 3. I can't remember what that does. Nothing. If you have played with optional rules, roll for battle event, but we're not doing that now. So we move now into the open, into this zone, just outside of the house. And again, we have to roll on the exposed movement. And we're up now to 5 action points. We roll 8. Roll on the hidden enemy table. I'm going to show you this guy. Exposed movement. So we roll an 8. Roll on the hidden enemy table. And you know the deal with that. The hidden enemy table is over here. So we roll 1d6. Hopefully a 1 to 3. Now we roll a 4. Move the event marker nearest to the player units 1 zone towards the player units. And you know that deal. Okay, so let's see. We have some event markers here. Which one should we move? So these ones are going to be the closest, but I am moving into... I am in that zone. So I think this one should be moved then. And that's going to be a problem for me. Okay, so then I spend my last action point moving into that building. I have now spent 6 action points. But however, this is going to be a problem because now I am adjacent to 3 event markers. And I'm going to have to reveal all of those. So the first one is a 10. And that's going to be an enemy presence check, -2. So that's one of the bad ones. Let's see here. Enemy presence check, -2. So we roll a d6 on that. We roll a 3, and that 3, let's see, -2. That's going to turn into a 1. And 1 is 2 submachine gun and 1 rifle. So that's quite lethal. So we get 2 rifles here and 1 submachine gunner. And then we show this guy, and it's 8. And 8 and 9, if you remember, is just placing rubble. So that's not too bad. I can deal with some rubble. And then we have this one. And it's 12. Enemy presence check again. Let's see here. 12. Enemy presence check +1. Okay, a lot of enemies now, man. So we move that. Roll 1d6. +1. That turns into a 5. a roll of 4 to 5 is gonna be 3 rifles. So I know I told you guys that you should never rush, because if you rush, you're gonna have to pay. But sometimes things don't go according to plan. Okay, so that means I've been activated and we draw the last marker of the turn, and that's obviously going to be an enemy marker. We have 2 units here to choose from, and they both contain 3 units, so I'm just going to roll. Otherwise I would have chosen the larger group, but I'm going to go ahead and roll to see which one to activate. And perhaps I should say first which I'm rolling for. 1 to 3 is going to be this, 4 to 6 is going to be that. So 4 is going to be this group, unfortunately, for me, because they have submachine guns. So first we have a German with a submachine gun. We're gonna obviously go to the bot again, and you remember the deal that if we roll a 6, it means no fire. But we roll a 3, so that means execute fire against the nearest target. The nearest target is gonna be these guys. So submachine gunner rolls 4 on his aim die, and then he has 2 rate of fire die since he has the rate of fire of 2. Okay, so that's actually is, unfortunately for me, 1 hit. So we're gonna go ahead and deal that straight away. Let's see how many soldiers I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 soldiers. So I'm rolling a d6. The second soldier is pinned. And then we have a rifleman. Man, these Germans are good. And he's also scored a hit, and he's gonna score the hit on unit number. I only have 4 units, so unit number 2. And that's, oh, he's already been hit, so I'm losing another man. This is turning ugly, guys. Then we have 1 last rifleman, and he rolls a 1, so that's gonna be a miss, because you always need 8 or more to hit, so that's, you need at least 2 with the aim die to hit at short distance. So anyway, that's the end of the turn. I'm hoping now that I'm going to be the first one to draw the event marker, because otherwise I'm going to be in trouble, and I am in trouble. Okay, so we have, let's see, we have 3 different guys we can activate. I'm going to go ahead and roll for that. 1 to 3 is going to be this, 3 to 4 is going to be that, 5 to 6 is going to be that. Okay, that's the one. Okay, so it's gonna be, unfortunately, the worst one, the light machine gun fire one. So we open up with the light machine gun fire, and we roll a 2, so that's not too good. So hopefully we survive. Oh man, look at that. Okay, so he scores 3 hits. So the first hit, let's see how many soldiers we have left here. We have 1, 2. We only have 2. We have only 3 soldiers remaining. Ah, man. I think it was like this. So we have 4 soldiers remaining, guys. So we are gonna go ahead and, man, roll a d6 to see who receives these hits. The first guy is hit. He's already pinned, so he's out of the game. And then we don't have a 4 now, so let's say that we roll a d6 instead, and that's going to be the second guy. So the second SMG guy is pinned, and then we have 1 more hit to deal. Again, we're rolling a d3, and that's going to be the first guy, and he's already pinned, so he's out of the game. Man, I am getting annihilated here. And that's just the light machine gun. Now we also have the rifleman to fire with. And he also, he gets a 6, so that's going to be a kill. Whoever he hits, if he hits. Oh yeah, look at that, man. These guys are on steroids. Okay, so that's definitely a hit and a kill. Let's roll to see who he hits. And we have only 2 guys remaining there. So on a roll of 1 to 3 is going to be the first guy. On a roll of 4 to 6 is going to be the second guy. And we roll up, so the SMG guy with his grenade is gone. Only soldier remaining now in the group is my rifleman. Man, I feel like I kind of need to fall back or something. How many guys do I still have here? 1 rifleman. Yeah, one rifleman and one light machine gun. Let's divide those up so you can see them. They are one group, but I'm dividing them here so you can see them better. So all I have left now, guys, are this little group and one rifleman. And the question is, even it might be the enemy's turn again. Yep, it is the enemy's turn again. So we're gonna roll 1 to 3 is them, 4 to 6 it's them. So it's gonna be these guys, and they are gonna go ahead and, of course, use the bot as usual. And you know the deal, on a roll of 6 they don't fire, so let's hope for that. Yeah, okay, so we did get a roll of 6. That means they have some weapon malfunction or something like that. They're activated, but they don't fire. So I'm gonna have 2 of my markers coming up now, and the question is what I want to do. Perhaps I want to try to retreat or do something like that. Not quite sure what to do out of this in this situation, because moving back is gonna expose me to so much trouble. I might just want to try to take my chances and try to pin them down, and I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I start with this group, and they are gonna attack these guys because they have a submachine gunner. So I start with my light machine gun, and I get a crappy roll of 2, and then I roll 4 dice because of my rate of fire, and I managed to get 1 hit. So these guys are, there's 3 of them in the squad, so I'm going to roll a d3 to deal the hits, and that's going to be the second guy, which is the submachine gun, and he's pinned. So I have 2 riflemen, so the first one is going to go ahead and use his grenade. That's the last grenade I got. Rolling his up, so that's a miss. Remember, you all at least need 2 on that in close combat. So then I only have 1 rifleman left to fire with. He's gonna fire on that. Guys, 4. Let's hope for something good. 6, yeah, I actually get a hit. So let's roll to see who gets hit. Let's roll a d3. It's gonna be the first rifleman. Okay, so I draw the next marker, and again, of course, it's gonna be mine. The question now is, I don't know if I want to divide my group or not, but I think the best bet is to try to do that. I am gonna to not do that. I am gonna try to join the other groups. I spend 1 point moving out, 2 points moving into the new area, into the open. So we have to roll for the exposed movement table, and we roll a 4. Let's see, 4 is yeah, nothing. 3 to 7 is nothing, so nothing happens. I spent 3 points now. I'm spending 1 additional point moving in, joining this group. And if I had 1 more point now, I could do a quick fire. Quick fire is only costs 3 action points, while the normal fire costs 5. But quick fire has a -1 die roll modifier. However, I spent, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4 points, so I only have 2 points remaining, so no quick fire for that guy, unfortunately. Okay, so it's the end of the turn, and it's been a horrible turn. I remember saying in the beginning of this game that, yeah, this scenario is easy, just take your time, and now I'm getting killed. But hope is never lost, so who knows what can happen. We have a player activation. So we have successfully pinned this group now. I'm going to try to pin the group now with the light machine gun fire. Because the thing is that when you pin them, when they activate, the only thing they will do is try to rally. They will not rally and then fire, for example. So pinning them is a great way of keeping them occupied. So I have quite some soldiers here. I'm gonna use my first rifleman first. I can't use the grenades because they're 2 zones away. And he gets actually the kill one, so that's great. Oh man, so he misses, because remember you need 8 at least to hit. So that's unfortunate, because I could have taken that nasty light machine gun out. Using my next rifle soldier, and he needs to roll a 6 now to hit, which he doesn't do. And then we have our next rifleman up. Come on, you can do it. We have another 6. Come on. Ah! Man, I am not lucky today. Look at that. Another one of those. And then we have our light machine gun. And I swear to God, if he rolls 1 and I'm out of ammo, I'm going to be ticked off. Okay, so I have 4 rate of fire. And that means I have 2 hits. Okay, so I have 2 hits and there's 2 enemies, so I'm gonna roll 2d3 to decide, or 2d2 I guess it should be, to decide. 1 to 3 is gonna be the light machine gun, 4 to 6 is gonna be the rifleman. Oh, actually, so we do fire to the light machine gun, so he's taken out. That's at least some positive news. So it's time to draw an event marker now again, but doesn't matter, or event marker, activation marker. Doesn't matter if I draw a player marker because I've already activated this this group here. So we draw an enemy. Let's roll to see which one is going to activate between these two. So 1 to 3 is going to be that one, 4 to 6 is going to be that one. So we roll a 3, so it's going to be this group. So we have 3 riflemen here. So they're going to fire, obviously. And they roll super good. Of course. And they hit. The first one hit, and it's a special effect, so it's a kill. And let's see how many soldiers I have now. 1 remaining, 2, 3, 4 soldiers remaining. So the one that's going to die is number 2, and he's also the one equipped with the grenade. So that's the last grenade of the game. This is not looking good, guys. Next rifleman up. He fires a 2, so that's not too good. Yeah, he misses. And then we have the last one. He fires good. Roll a 5, and yeah, he hits. So I have only 3 soldiers remaining now, so I'm going to roll a d3 to allocate that hit. And it's 4, so that should be the second guy, which is a rifleman. He's now pinned. Yeah, things are not looking good. So I'm going to put my marker there to show that they have been activated. So we have another enemy, and we're going to go ahead and activate this enemy. Because that's the one that's closest to our guys. And if we use the bot now, we see we have a pinned unit. We use the bot. Group is engaged in close combat. No. Group contains pinned unit. Yes. Rally pinned units. No move for this group during this activation. So we're going to go ahead and try to rally them. So to rally, you simply roll a d6, and the rally is successful on a roll of 3 to 6. So successful rally on a rifleman. Then we have a pinned submachine gun, and he's also successfully rallied. And then the last rifleman is not pinned, so they do nothing. Okay, so there's only one marker left in the cup, and that's going to be a player marker. But since I don't have a second group out, I can't use that player marker. So I am going to go ahead and put the markers back in the cup. Sorry, my dogs are going at my neighbors. So we go ahead and go into the next turn. And we have a player marker, so that's neat. Perhaps there's some way we can save this situation, although I am very doubtful. Okay, so we have a rifleman. Let's see which unit we want to fire. We want to fire at this unit. So rifleman fires at this unit. He rolls a 2, so that's not very good. And a 4, so that's a miss. Next fireman is pinned, so I need to try to rally him. Remember, on a roll of 4 to 6, he's rallied. So the rally cost 5 action points. So after you've done that, you have 1 more action point. So you could even move somewhere or nothing. So they're just going to stay. Then we have our light machine gun. So he's rolling his aim die 3. That's not very good. And then his 4 rate of fire dice. And we get 1 hit. Okay, so that 1 hit. We have 3 soldiers here. We're going to roll a d3. And it's going to be the second one that takes that hit. And becomes pinned. Okay, guys. Normally, if I was playing, I would just abort this mission because you can already tell that I am. I'm gonna get it. We draw another marker here. It's a player marker, but I can't use that one. Draw an enemy marker. Let's roll 1 to 3 to see which one we're gonna activate. And it's going to be the top one. 1 to 3 is this one, right? Okay, so we use the top one, and the top one has pinned units. You know the deal. We need to. We have seen the bot. We don't need to look at it. We know that if the enemy has pinned units, we just need to try to rally them. So we roll a d6 and he successfully rallies. So the next marker is going to be an enemy marker, and it's going to be this unit which is closest and not activated. So they have 3 riflemen, so let's do 3 rifle attacks. First one is probably going to miss, yeah. And the second one also, and the last one probably also going to miss. Yes, sir. So we take our markers, activation markers, back to the cup, shuffle them, and draw one randomly. Let's roll 1 to 3 to see. 1 to 3 is going to be this one, 4 to 6 is going to be that one. It's going to be that one. Remember, you always activate the units that are nearest, so that's why I'm not activating this one. Let's see here. Yeah, none of them are pinned. I thought I pinned one of them, but I guess not. Okay, so we have a rifle soldiers. He's firing first at short distance, and that's a hit. So first one is a hit. I'm gonna go ahead and roll a d3 to see who gets that hit, and it's gonna be the third one. So that's my light machine gun, unfortunately. Then we have a submachine gun, so he's also gonna fire, and he's firing 2 rate of fire dice. And he also gets a hit, so let's roll a d3 to see who gets the hit, and it's going to be the first rifleman. And then we have our last rifleman. Rolls a 5, so that's also probably going to be a hit. Nope, he misses. So at least some good news. Okay, so we draw a marker, and it's our turn. We can only try to rally this rifleman here. He successfully rallied. The next rifleman is going to go ahead and fire, and he's going to try to fire on this group of enemies. I'm going to re-roll that one. It's the 3, and I am actually able to hit them, so I'm going to roll to see a d3 to see who I hit, and it's going to be the first one that goes pinned. Then I have my light machine gun. I'm going to try to rally that guy, and he's successfully rallied. So we'll draw a new counter. It's our player counter, and we can't do anything with that. We draw our enemy marker, and that's going to be this guy. Of course, he's the closest, and we know the bot by now. All they're going to do is try to rally, so this guy is trying to rally and successfully doing so. So that's all of the markers. You know the deal. We put them back in the cup. I feel like you kind of you should have a good feeling of the game flow by now. Probably starting to get a little bit bored here, is waiting for me to get annihilated. But if you have any questions, like I said, just go ahead and ask me. And again, I'm gonna go ahead and play all the other scenarios as well, and then I'm gonna repeat them on advanced rules. Okay, so let's see here, guys. We have our rifleman getting attacked. Let's roll 1 to 3 is gonna be that one. 4 to 6 is gonna be that one, since we drew the enemy activation marker. So it's gonna be this group. So we start by opening up with the submachine gun. Pretty decent roll. It's gonna roll 2 because of his rate of fire. That's gonna be 1 hit. So let's roll 1d3 for that hit. It's gonna be the first rifleman, so he's suppressed now. And then we have another rifleman. And he rolls a 3, so that's not too good. And a 1, so that's a miss. And then the last rifleman. And he rolls a 6, so that's going to be a kill hit. And a 3, so that's a hit. So who does he hit? He hits, let's see, a d3, that's going to be the second guy, so that's a rifleman. So the rifleman is killed. I'm down to 2 men, and one of them are pinned. So this is definitely going to be, unfortunately, a loss. I was thinking I'm going to show you how to do this, and then didn't go according to plan. Okay, it's my turn. I'm going to try to activate the rifleman. I do so, and then I have my light machine gun. He's going to go ahead and open up on these guys down here. Actually, I'm going to open up on these guys just to make things cooler. Okay, I score a 6, so that's a good roll. That's a damn good roll. And I'm going to reroll this one. Okay, so we have 3 hits, from that one. And since we have the R ability on that counter, we get to reroll, so that's actually 4 hits, and one of them is a kill. So first of all, let's do a D3 to see which is gonna kill. And we roll 5, so that's gonna be the last one. That's the rifle soldier. So now my luck starts, and then we have 3 more hits to deal out, so I will just roll a D3. Okay, reroll one of them. At least the submachine gun is also out, and the rifleman is pinned. I should have opened up on these guys, man. It's lost anyway. Okay, so we draw one more marker. It's going to be an enemy marker. It's going to be this group. We have riflemen fire at my guys. That's a bad roll. First one misses. Next one has better luck, and he scores 1 hit. Let's roll to see who he hits. 1 to 3 is going to be the light machine gun, and it is. And then we have our last rifleman. Rolls a 3, 5, so that's also a hit. Let's roll again to see who he hits, and it's the light machine gun. The light machine gun is already pinned, so he's out. I only have a rifleman left. This is going down the okay, so I get another player activation marker, but of course I can't activate since I only have one group which has already been activated. Okay, this is it, guys. I think I could even admit a feed, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna go ahead and fire on that. I want to kill that guy before I'm taken out. And I roll a 6, so I'm probably gonna be able to do so. Ah! Look at that, guys. Man, I won again. Every time I roll a 6, I roll a 1. Oh, I am not in luck this time. So we draw a marker. It's the enemy marker. Let's roll to see which group to activate. 1 to 3 is that one. 4 to 6 is that one. It's gonna be this one. So they have 3 riflemen attacking. Let's put this one there as a reminder. The first one almost rolls a 6, but he doesn't. So he misses. The second one, will he do better? Yep, he rolls a 5. And then a 5, so it's a hit. My last rifleman is pinned. And then we have one more rifleman. And he rolls a 2, so that's probably not going to be good enough. And that's a 6, so that's a hit. So that's my last rifleman taken out. So unfortunately, for the first scenario showing you guys, I've been completely annihilated. I removed, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 15 event markers. One cool thing about this first scenario is that you actually don't have to fight all of these Germans which you stumble upon, or Soviets if you're playing as a German, because the only mission you have is to turn all of these event markers. So basically you're just, out on patrol, doing some scouting, and again, you don't have to fight them. So I think thinking afterhand, it would probably, when I realized I met all these forces, instead of fighting them, probably I should have tried to break through and just reach the other event markers and try to take the risk for a quick victory instead of certain death. So anyway, guys, this is Rattenkrieg. I like it a lot. Movement is a little bit weird, but you learn it. And once you learn it, it's not weird. So again, if you have any questions about this game, let me know. I'll try to answer it. Otherwise, stay tuned because more playthrough videos are coming very soon. Also, again, I'll post a link in the description where you can get this one currently on sale for $36 on flyingpiggames.com. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay tuned. Please subscribe for next videos. Stay safe. See you next time.